Oh, music. Music, music, music. It is always a pleasure to be able to indulge in a little bit of music, a little bit of singing, as my sessions start. Hello, travelers of the internet, and welcome back to Guardian Studios, or if you are new to the channel, hey there and welcome to you. My name is JGuard01, and I am your host, guide, and humble bard into the worlds virtual and fantastical. And I am very pleased to welcome you all back to the channel, or in the case of newcomers, welcome you fresh to a Guardian Studios experience as we dive back into the world of Gyros, where there's a lot that I would like to get done, but we have very little time in which to do at least some of it. So, what are we going to be doing today? Well, as you may surmise from the title of the session, we are going to be doing some stuff with Amethyst. Specifically, we are going to be finding an Amethyst geode. We are going to go to the mine, and we are going to see if we can find an Amethyst geode on any particular Y level, or rather, we're going to dig a tunnel to an Amethyst geode, revealed to us through chunk base, and harvest the amethysts. And then, from there, we're going to make use of those amethysts, and hopefully we will be able to get the ball rolling on some plans that I have been making. But there is, as you might expect, a lot that I want to do today if we can get the ball rolling. Getting the amethyst is just one of the tasks that I would like to try to get done today. There's actually a few things that I want to do today if we can make the time to do them. Mainly, I want to start working on our... I want to start working some more on the construction of the Grand Gyros Railway. I want to continue building out the cobblestone structure that supports the rails of the Grand Gyros Railway. I want that thing to be complete as soon as possible. But to make that happen, we're going to have to dig some tunnels, and we're going to have to do some mining. And then we're going to have to place the cobblestone. There's going to be a good bit of work to do. Make sure my respawn point is local. And now I want to see... We are in the X400 region of coordinates. Almost 500. So where is the nearest geode to us? Okay. If we go that way... Alright, so it looks like why little negative 20. This is what's difficult with geodes. They can spawn across such a wide range of Y levels. It's hard to pinpoint a specific one. I'm thinking we're just gonna mine on Y level 16. And we're going to hope that we can find what we are looking for. If we do find what we're looking for, great! If not, well, so be it. Alright, let me see. Let me just confirm. 420 by 4,204. So if I go this way, there is a chance of me finding that particular Oh my gosh, there is a cave. A cave that apparently I have previously had to deal with. I see lanterns. Those would have to be because of me. Okay. Well, that's good to know. That is good to know. Right. I want to do that. I want to make it so we can't be attacked from the sides, and then... break down these blocks that are in the way. Mining can be very relaxing at times. Not always, but sometimes it proves itself to be a relaxing activity. Ooh, cave. Let's make a bunch more torches. We're gonna need them. Whoops! Did not mean to do that. I did not mean to break that torch. Scoop up those items, and let's run back and place torches where it's still dark. Got to do these things the right way. Right? Right. Yeah, that's definitely a cave. Looks like a very narrow cave. Not sure I want to worry about it. Okay, so that is the direction we would want to go to find the geode that I located on the map on Chunk Base. But before we go committing to that, I want to start digging the strip mine tunnels in this direction. Would go like that, so doop 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 da doo da doo do 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 do. Oh 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 oh! Come on, put that back. Let's go mining. Come along, sing the song as we go mining for some amethyst in a geode. Okay, that should still line up real good. One would think, but then we do not know if it does actually line up good. But if it doesn't, that would be so awesome. just want to make sure that these are cleaned up. Okay. Do I have any chests on me? No, I do not. I have my chest boat, but that's not the same thing. So, let's move some things around. Bop, bop, ba bop. Come on, game, and let me work with this. Gonna pop that and that in there. Okay, and back the other way. If we're gonna do this, we are going to do it right. Bum ba da dum ba da 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 bum ba dum bum. And you can have all that, and that, and that. I won't need it. And now we run to the tunnel at 419. Aha. Actually, no, 421. Let's do 421. That should suffice. Ugh, gravel. Why must it always be gravel? Why must there always be gravel in my way? That is very annoying. Chow down on a pork chop, because I'm starting to lose some hunger. Hang on one second, I want to confirm the coordinates. Okay, coordinates confirmed. Aha! We found it! It is here! I wasn't sure we'd actually have one here. Ah, but I'm at the very bottom of it. Okay. Ah. And it's part of a cave system. Interesting. Okay. Let's try to light this up as best we can, in case we have any mobs spawning around here. I do not want mobs spawning and running into that Amethyst geode, because I'll probably end up setting it up and as close to an Amethyst farm situation as I can. There we go. We got some amethyst. Amethyst shards. That's what we're here for. Yes. Oh, I've missed doing stuff with amethyst. Listen to how pretty it is when you walk on it. It is awesome. I love the sound amethyst makes as you walk on it. As you walk on it, as it's broken, it is an awesome, awesome sound. But I do wish vanilla would allow us to silk touch these ones with the X's. These ones with the X's on them, if you don't know, those are budding amethyst, and that is the only block that can generate more amethyst. So if we could silk touch it and take it with us, we could set up a real amethyst farm. Which I would rather be able to do that. I would rather be able to take amethyst with us and make a farm out of it by our bases, but unfortunately the game doesn't let us do that. It stinks, but what are you gonna do, you know? Still, that gets us what we were after. We've got the amethyst. And you know what? I want to make sure this path is marked as the amethyst tunnel. Wow, that's a lot of iron. That's cool. Let's go get another 5 amethyst blocks, because I want to take a full stack with me to the surface for future building purposes. Man, you forget how much iron can form in a single vein. Wow. Alright, so now it's clearly marked where we have to go to get more amethyst when we want it. Let's go over here and put away the stuff we don't want to take with us. Oh, I've got more than a stack. Okay. We are going to take that iron. We're going to take a block of andesite, a block of granite, a block of diorite. And you may wonder why we're going to take that with us. Well, it is very, very simple. We are going to be getting back to work on the Grand Gyros Railway. As such, we are going to need to set up Allays to pick up the items that drop as we're digging the tunnels for the Grand Gyros Railway. Or at least as many of those blocks as they can pick up. That is why we needed the Amethyst Geode. Stress, that is why we needed it. We want it because we can use the Amethyst for future building projects. We need it so that we can make our Allays pick up the blocks that are most likely to fall as we're mining the tunnels of the Grand Gyros Railway. Because there's going to be a lot of those tunnels. There's going to be a fair number of those tunnels that we have to dig into 3x3 shape above our railway. Minimum 3x3. We're probably going to go 3x4. 3 wide by 4 tall, but we'll see. I also need a block of dirt. So we need 5, count them, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Allays to pick up the items and be bringing them to us. That's a lot. We're also definitely going to need to bring chests once we get started. Funny enough, I have 5 leads with me. That's good, because then I can set up 5 Allays on leads tied to me to make everything work. I just realized we're also going to need one particular thing. We need a diamond. Why do we need a diamond, you may ask? Because there is one thing more that we need to be able to make our Allays duplicate. We need a jukebox. Allays don't duplicate unless they hear the music of a jukebox. If they are listening to a jukebox, then they can duplicate. But if they are not, then they cannot. Oh, don't tell me that I don't have a... Do I not have any music discs yet? Oh, no. Oh, no! This won't do me any good if I don't have a music disc. Oh, that's going to suck if that's the case. If I seriously have not acquired a music disc, we're gonna have to travel who knows how far to get somewhere where we can get a music disc. Please tell me that there is one somewhere amongst my vast collection of oddities and baubles. Because I do have a vast collection of items. I've got so many items scattered amongst my chests that it's mind-boggling. To the point that, honestly, it makes me think I'm going to need to set up some kind of massive item sorter before too long. I don't want to have to do that, but I may not have a choice. Aha! There's one! 13! Music disc 13. If they listen to this, they will duplicate. Because they don't care what it sounds like, even if it sounds a little creepy. There we go. Alright, so that fixes the problem of needing a music disc. Although it is the creepiest sounding music disc I have heard to date. Which probably says something about how little I bother with the music discs. The one music disc I really worry about is, Pigstep. Pigstep and the one that got released when the, Lush Caves and stuff became a thing. Okay, hopefully that growling is just the growling of our camel friend. There we go. We've got the 5 we needed. Which means we can thankfully put away that spooky music disc. I just realized, back at the mine, I have Pigstep. I could have listened to Pigstep while I was doing this. Oh, that is annoying. That, honestly, is a little bit annoying, but what are you gonna do? We did things the way we just did them, and now we are good to go. I'm gonna put the Amethyst in here. Yeah, let's put the iron in there. I'm not gonna worry about working with it right now. Gotta leash you. Leash you. 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 And actually, do I need to leash you guys? No, I don't. I don't know why I was thinking I had to. Because I don't. These guys will follow me so long as they're carrying an item. And I'm going to walk on the rail line. I am not going to ride the whole way this time. That's not really necessary here. Alright, I don't have a whole lot of space for storing blocks, but I don't need a whole lot of space for storing blocks. Are all 5 here? Yup, okay. So the time has come. Hello, Kenzo! Kenzo, did you change your name? It doesn't have the fancy stuff to it anymore. Or is that actually you, Kenzo? Is that someone else using the same name? Because we've had a Kenzo around here before. Seems like a nice dude. Oh, you're new here. Okay. Well, welcome to the stream, new Kenzo. I'm not kidding. We have another person that uses the same name. They just have a really fancy text style for their name. It's really fancy. I see, I see. I wondered if that was the situation. What a dutiful little Allay. Might have been a good idea to have another one that would do, Did I really just hit myself with a snowball? We're missing somebody. I distinctly... Oh, no, there they are. Okay, we've got all 5. Right now, Kenzo, I am working on clearing up space for some tunnel work that I have to do on my world. Because I have got some rails to place and an ice boat highway to build that need room. In order to make that room, I have to dig some tunnels. As for playing with me on this world, I'm sorry to have to say that this is a completely solo world. But I do appreciate your interest. Make no mistake, I appreciate your interest in playing with me. You are more than welcome, by the way, to stay and hang out in the chat. We are always happy to have more people in the chat. So long as all chat messages are kept family friendly. Okay, I think some of my Allays got left behind somehow. Whoa, what? Oh, there was another that must have gotten lost in the cave here. Oh, that's kind of funny. That's kind of funny. Huh. No, but I have previously done a deal where I tried to play in the spirit of hardcore. Back before Bedrock Edition had the option to do legitimate hardcore worlds. At the moment, Kenzo, while I appreciate the thought and the offer, kind of focusing on my single-player world. But again, I do appreciate the offer and the thought. This is so cool. Having Allays that can do this, that can help me by scooping up all the items. I didn't realize how much I needed it. Ryan, thank you for the rules, and glad to see that you're here, my friend. How you doing? Doing alright? I hope so. I'm doing pretty good myself, Ryan. I'm doing pretty good. Just working on digging out the tunnels for the Iceboat Highway above the Grand Gyros Railway. Which also means I'm kind of also getting resources to finish building the main rail line of the Grand Gyros Railway as well. So, 3 birds, 1 stone. Or, I guess in this case, 1 pickaxe. Breaking down the blocks, breaking down the blocks, breaking down the blocks. Block breaking throughout the world. That's what I'm doing, breaking down the blocks throughout this silly, silly, but awesome world. No worries, Ryan, no worries. I totally understand how being overheated messes with the thinking process. Wow. Okay, I had so many items that the stinking Allays couldn't give them all to me. What? I feel like I was hearing something growling or something. I love the sounds they make so much, those Allays. This is satisfying. I hadn't realized it would be so satisfying to hear them. Wow. That is so satisfying. To think, when I first learned of the Allay, I was skeptical if I would like it. Now, I love it. It figures, doesn't it? It just figures. And you know what? This is actually digging out the proper spacing for the plan. Nice! Okay! I hadn't realized that, but that's awesome. I am loving this. We are missing an Allay. I think he got lost deeper into the cave. We'll get him back. I can't get over how cute these little guys are, and how cool their sounds are. It's just awesome. Alright. Grab a whole boatload worth of cobblestone. Got to put in the right edge. That's the main thing I'm worried about putting in at the moment. Hey, awesome plays! Good to see you, my friend. I am continuing work on my project, the Grand Gyros Railway, which is basically my attempt to build a rail line from my home base, where I started all my construction work, to the desert, where I'm doing more construction work. I plan to have a base in every major kind of biome, if I can. And part of that is having a base in the desert. But part of the project is also building an ice boat highway so that when it's just me being transported, or just a single player being transported, if the world is ever released to the public for people to play, I will be able to use the ice boat. The ice boat will be available as a means of getting across the world quickly. If you mean in the whole of my time playing Minecraft, I can't begin to tell you. I can say that it's a big number, but I don't know the specific. If you're talking about on this world, I haven't. I have not beaten the Ender Dragon on this world at all. And if you or anybody else are wondering why, it's simple. I'm trying to take my time on this world. Really savor the work of building the world without having an elytra make it super simple to travel from point A to point B. Would it be cool to have that? Absolutely! I would never say that it wouldn't. But in getting elytra, I always feel like I lose something of the experience, so I am trying to focus on play without elytra. Would an elytra be simpler? Sure. Of course it would, but while an elytra would make this work easier to go from point A to point B, I always, when I get an elytra, feel like I lose something in the process of gaining flight. Like, what's even the point of traveling from point A to point B when the travel itself takes me away from doing the building and the farming and such? So I'm sticking to no elytra for the foreseeable future. Though I will admit, I'm starting to think I do want to get shulker boxes. But if I go to get shulker boxes, I know me, I will most likely get the elytra, and then it'll be almost impossible for me to resist using the elytra instead of any other method of travel. My Allays system? Oh, if you're talking about these guys right here, right now, they're picking up anything that falls from the blocks I'm breaking. So if I don't pick it up, they will. I've got one with each of the one with each of the five... One with a form of each of the 4 kinds of stone. One has cobblestone, one has diorite, one has granite, one has andesite, and then one more has dirt. There is a 6th tagging along, but that one just collects leads, which he had been following me during one of my previous travels along the railway from one end to the other, so he got lost along the way, and apparently just caught up with me as I was starting in on this. Yeah. Well, I have actually used some of them in my animal farms to pick up items that they drop passively, or to pick up items that fall from the ones I'm actually farming for food. So, if we were to go back to my base, which I have codenamed Winter Harbor, if we were to go back there, you'd see that I have 2 Allays sitting in with the cows. One collecting leather, one collecting raw beef. That's for when I actually eliminate the cows for food. Or for leather, as the case may be. And then if you check the chicken and pig pen, I have an allay in there for each of the 3 kinds of eggs that they now lay, as well as... Well, actually, that's all I've got in there. I've got one for each of the 3 kinds of eggs, the regular eggs, brown eggs, and the blue eggs. And then I've got one more hanging out with the camels and the armadillos, so that I have one collecting the scutes from the armadillos. I got very fortunate. That's how I found my Allays. I got really, really fortunate. I went looking for a woodland mansion, because that's one of the 2 structures where they spawn. I found 3 dungeons full of Allays. You remember those dungeons? You know those dungeons with the iron doors that used to be empty? Well, they're not empty anymore. Since the Allay got introduced, they now spawn as prisoners within those dungeon cells. So all you do is open the door, and out they can come. You just got to make sure you give them an item, otherwise they won't follow you. Either give them an item, and then they tie to you, or you put them on a lead, and they'll just be dragged along with you. Either way, they're yours. So I found 3 dungeons full of the little guys, and brought them home. But you can bring just one, and then use amethyst shards on them while they are dancing to a jukebox that's actively playing, and make them duplicate. It's the equivalent of breeding for them. Just feed them an amethyst shard while they're dancing to a jukebox. And it doesn't matter what song is playing on the jukebox. Just stick in a music disc and feed them an amethyst shard, and boom. Off they... Out of the ether comes another Allay. Well, I've done a lot of thinking about them on this world, since I am trying to avoid using elytra. I have to come up with a lot of different things to supplement different things. Oh yeah, I have... There's irony in this statement. I have sworn off swearing. I don't swear at all, if I can avoid it. The closest I come is substitution words, which I barely even do that. I am a family-friendly content creator, and so I do not swear. There is no point to it to me. There is no reason for it to me. No rhyme or reason. So I don't do it. But yeah, when it comes to the Allays, I know a good bit about them because I got very interested in them when they first got introduced. I was a little skeptical that I would really, excuse me, take to them so much, but then I started using them, and oh my gosh, I love them. So I needed to know how to get more of them. And the rest, as they say, is history. Thank you, little dude. Here's hoping. And hey, here's hoping sooner rather than later. But I am patient. I will take my time. Yes, yes I can. Hoppers are definitely an option. However, iron farms take time to build up your stockpile of iron. The one and only flaw with an iron farm is it does still take time. You have to be actively sitting. Someone has to be sitting by the iron farm in order for it to generate iron. And hoppers can only reach into the block above them. So collecting items from animals passively is a pain in the neck, even with hoppers, unless you specifically use a hopper cart, which that's even more expensive. And every little bit of iron is valuable at the moment because I need it for the rails for my railroad. Because see, this line of rails here, this is the current status of the Grand Gyros Railway. One rail line traveling all the way between Winter Harbor and the desert. Is that right? Is that right? Chat, let me know. Comment section, chat, whichever. Let me know. Is that accurate? You can build an iron farm in the spawn chunks and you don't have to worry about it? It just passively accumulates? I've never heard of that. Crud. I will be right back. I need to refill my water. And yes, Awesome Plays, it does. The railway takes a ton of iron. Hence, iron farm and iron valuable. Have to save my iron for the rails. Be right back, guys. Hello, I'm back. Sorry it took so long. Had to find my refill stuff, and it was not where it was supposed to be. It's annoying. You ever have that problem, guys? Anybody ever have that problem? You put something somewhere, and then when you go to look for it, it's not where you're sure that you left it. I have that problem like 9 times out of 10. 9 times out of 10 I have that happen. But then 6 out of those 10 times, so 3 out of 5 times, it turns out it was where I left it. I just didn't realize where that spot was. And it just happened to be right in front of my face. It just happened to be blending in with the environment around it. Well, I'm glad to hear it's not just me. I'm glad to hear it's not just me that has situations like that happen. That everybody? That all 6? Yep, that's all 6. Good. There is going to be a massive need to send hopper minecarts along this rail line when we are done building it. Because I'm going to be breaking chests like that, and then I'll need the hopper carts to pick up all the items. As well as drag some Allays along the rail line to pick up what they can too, most likely. Because I have found that if you're using a minecart rail built in the kind of fashion that I've done here, you can, in fact, pull Allays along behind you on leads, and they can keep up. You just have to have them on a lead or in a cart. Otherwise, there is a chance of them getting stuck somewhere and falling behind. Got to make sure that everything is working the way it's supposed to do. Got to make sure everything is operating properly. Got to make sure of everything. Hey, by all means, if you think your friend might enjoy this channel, feel free to invite them to hang out in the chat. I'm always happy to have more chatters, always happy to have more viewers. And if you think they might enjoy it, feel free to let them know about the channel. Anytime. Oh, I need to stop and have a pork chop. Well, let's have 2. Fill up my hunger. And take a nap, because it is very well into the night in the game. Gotta make sure that we sleep. It'll be so nice to have this project finally done once it is. Making this rail line is a long, tedious process, but I enjoy this kind of project, honestly. Uh-oh, we have run out. Because it's a lot harder to maintain a consistent workflow. Awesome plays. Okay, so if I'm doing the jump bridge thing, then if my stack runs out and I don't notice it in time, I have a risk of falling off. However, if I run alongside it, holding down the button so that it keeps building, I can spam pick block. I can spam the button that does pick block and pull that block out of my inventory as my stack runs out. It's a trick that I figured out a short time back, but it has proven very useful for building the bridge. Now, I won't deny, I've had to do the jump bridge thing or something similar for building this one long line of cobblestone, but it's been worth it to figure all this out. We're going to go back to the chests that we have previously placed, and I'm going to see if there's any cobblestone in them. If there is, good. If not, that's okay too. At the very least, we've got more cobblestone placed, and that's what's important. I want to get as much of the cobblestone placed for this support structure as possible, so that we have everything set for the second rail line. Because I want to do 2 rail lines. I want to set up 1 rail line going each direction. The rail line doesn't need guardrails, except during construction. At least the rail line doesn't. So let me explain. When I'm running like this, I can just hold the stick at a certain angle, and my guy will just run along the guardrail. This way he doesn't fall off of the rail line. When I'm just running like this, I need a guardrail so I don't fall off. If I were riding on the rails, it wouldn't matter. But I also plan to make this structure have an architecturally built look to it. I'm going to eventually make it look like it has supports underneath it so that it is visually pleasing and not visually jarring like it doesn't have supports. What the heck? How is it still up in the air? You ever have that feeling happen with Minecraft? You look at a build, realize it's just floating there, counting on the 2 ends, if anything, to hold it up? That's visually jarring for me. I like to make it seem realistic to a degree. Plus, there's going to be an iceboat highway built above this. Yeah, floating this is annoying, so my solution is to avoid it at all costs. The Allays are being very dutiful. Okay, so if I'm transporting items, a minecart railway would be the easiest way to do it. But if I'm transporting just myself, it's easiest for me to just get in a boat and ride on the ice, headed from point A to point B. If I'm transporting mobs, like say I've decided to build up a base in another location along the rail line that doesn't have a village nearby, and I need villagers, the easiest way to transport them is to get them to the rail station, put them in minecarts and send them off, and then trail along behind them or in between them if I can set up an automatic launch system. Which I basically intend to have such a system set up at each train station, so I can send myself and chest carts or carts loaded with animals or other mobs along the way. boats are not necessarily as easy for villagers if you're transporting multiple. Allow me to explain. If I want to send multiple villagers... Yeah, chest mine carts. Yeah, chest carts are the simplest way to send items if I want to send a lot of them at once. And even if I use shulker boxes, my inventory is much more limiting because I've got to have certain items arranged in my inventory where I can get to them. If everything's in shulker boxes, it's much harder to just pluck them out and get going. I have to place down the shulker box, pull the item out, then break the shulker box and pick it back up. So, using chest carts make it so that it's easier to send things along the way. And when it comes to transporting mobs, it's simpler to use minecarts because then I can send this... I can actually send them all along and travel with them so that they go. Hello, Average YouTube watcher. Welcome to the channel. Hope you are having a good day today. Hope you're doing well. Hope you enjoy the stream. You are welcome to stay and hang out in the chat if you would like, so long as your messages are kept family friendly. But when it is just me traveling back and forth, it would be faster to use an ice boat. So my plan is to design all my stations, all my rail yards and stations, with a station above for the ice boat. And since I'm already doing the train, the minecart rail line, I might as well put the ice boat highway on top of it, so that I can just climb up a set of stairs to the ice boat highway if it's going to be just me traveling, and zoom! And just make sure that I lean to whichever side the station's going to be on. Because my plan is to alternate. Some stations, it goes one way. Other stations, the exit will be on the other side. I have no idea what that is. I have no idea what that is, Awesome Plays. I'll be honest, I have no clue whatsoever what you're referring to. Do I have everybody? Yes, I do. That's all 6. Okay. Little dirt guy was off to the side, hiding behind a hill. I may look it up and see what it is later, but don't count on it. I would not count on it. I am so looking forward to having this thing complete, though. Being able to travel from point A to point B rapidly, whether by rail, and so able to ride passively, or by ice boat, and being able to just zoom to where I want to go. Either way, it's going to be awesome. But the ice boat highway is actually another reason why I need to have this guardrail here, because I intend to put supports for the ice boat, visual supports for the ice boat highway on either side of the rail line. Okay, Awesome Plays, that ain't funny. I mean, it kinda is funny what you're saying there, but it's also not. I am no pillager, I am no villager. I am nothing but myself. And what myself doth be is unique. Probably gonna end up ravaging places like this for the sake of packed ice. I'm gonna need a lot of packed ice to build the ice boat highway. the path that this rail line has to follow currently is about 8,000 blocks. So yeah, I'm gonna need a lot of packed ice. Because think about it, I've got to triple that. If it is 8,000 blocks from Winter Harbor to the desert where the rail line currently ends, I'm going to need 24,000 packed ice. And this is why, Awesome Plays, this is why I'm walking instead of using a minecart to travel along the road right now. Because if I travel by rail, it moves too fast to place blocks, even if you're holding the button. And these gaps caused by the powered rails and the blocks that they have to sit on add one more reason why it won't work to try to place them while I'm on the minecart. So I have to be doing things certain ways for very particular and important reasons. As I'm making the tunnels to make room for the Iceboat Highway, I am also finishing up the construction of the support structure for the rail line. Well, the plan to power the rails is these redstone torches right here in the middle. This redstone torch will power matching sets of power rails on both of the rail lines for the Grand Gyros Railway. The Iceboat Highway is going to be 3 blocks wide with guardrails made of cobble so that the boats don't go flying off as I'm traveling. Because the boats are inevitably going to drift, even just a little bit. And even just a little bit of drift will throw off my trajectory to get to the exits that I need to get get off. I'm not sure what you're saying at this point. If you're asking... I'm not sure what you're actually asking here, to be entirely honest. I'm a little confused. Which is nothing new. I get confused very easily at times. If you're wondering why I can't just put redstone torches like that, that would cost more than if I just did one redstone torch in the middle. If you're wondering why I don't do like a redstone block under the powered rails, that's 9 redstone dust apiece. A single redstone torch in the middle is much cheaper and more efficient. So if you or anybody else were wondering about that, that's the reasoning. Everything that I have decided on doing for this minecart railroad and the Iceboat Highway is being done for very specific and important reasons. I do not have a TNT cobblestone farm, but I do have a cobblestone... I do have a stone generator, which I can use my pickaxes on to get cobblestone or stone. If I want actual stone, just use my Silk Touch pick. If I don't care if I get stone, if I just need cobblestone, then I just use my regular pick, my fortune pick. I don't really jive with doing TNT-based farms, because with the TNT farm, if something happens, the TNT could blow up the whole mechanism, and then... And sand farms, I don't know how those work. I believe there's redstone mechanisms that can be built to farm sand. It doesn't... That's something that I have never seen done. Or if I have, it depends on glitches and bugs. And I'd rather not build anything that depends on a glitch or a bug, because if at some point it is patched out, that machine is now useless. That's why I've never tried doing any kind of TNT duplicator machines. Or at least I haven't in some time. I think at one time my fellow gamer, content creator, and Minecrafter, Enyasoft, my brother, he and I might have dabbled with TNT duplication in a private world at one time, but if we did, it was years ago when we were still earlier on in our mutual time playing Minecraft. But again, I don't jive with doing that kind of thing because it depends on glitches and bugs usually. And as Mojang has shown with how they patched out the quote-unquote bug, unquote, of Furnace XP that we had for the longest time, they are more than happy to patch out bugs that are useful if they think it is overpowered. And let us not forget, they are constantly trying to stop AFK fish farms that are generally used for XP and getting a whole ton of fish. So, TNT duplication bugs are not necessarily going to work forever. Eventually, Mojang may try to patch out any that have been found on either version. So, I do indeed like redstone. I like building things with redstone, figuring out how to make different ideas and mechanisms work. I'm nowhere near as good as, say, Mumbo Jumbo, for example. I am no Mumbo Jumbo. I am no pro redstoner, but I do love working with redstone to make things work the way that I want them to. And if I can't get them to work the way I want them to, I find a video or something that shows how to make something that can do what I want, and I do my best to replicate it. Ultimately, yes, I love redstone. I love working with redstone. I'm just not very good at it. I have to be able to sit and take the time to figure it out. Figure out how to make it work. Okay, so there is another tree that I need to break. Hey, get out of my way, little dude. Little dude, out of my way. You're in the way. Oh, this little dude does not know how to move, does he? What a silly little guy. Oh, crud. That's what was keeping me from moving. No, these Allays are not being treated bad, I can assure you. These Allays are treated very, very kindly, with a lot of respect. I just sometimes may be a little harsh-worded at them. Or harsh-toned. All the amethyst shards that they could want. I actually pay them on commission. When the job is done, they get paid. And they get paid handsomely, I can assure you. Yeah, these particular Allays are willing to work on commission. When the job is done, they get paid handsomely in amethyst shards. And the work is work that they enjoy, so bonus for them. I mean, who wants to do work that you don't enjoy, am I right? It's part of why I do this channel. It's work that I enjoy. If you can provide proof of being an Allay, potentially. Alright, I know for a fact it is nighttime, so I need to take a quick sleep. Alright, which way? There's the chest. My day has been pretty good. Fairly laid back, fairly relaxed. Nothing too stressful. And that's just the way I like it. I like my day relatively relaxed and chill. Ah, I have just seen the time. Unfortunately, my friends, that is going to have to do it for this session. I would love to keep going, but I do have a couple of things that I need to take care of IRL. But don't worry, I will be back soon with another stream. I can promise you that. But for the time being, I'm going to go ahead and say thank you, everybody, so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the stream, both live viewers and otherwise. If you did, please be sure to leave a like and a comment. Subscribe if you haven't already done so. Check out the About page for links to other pages with more content from yours truly, as well as other ways to help support the channel. Turn on notifications by smacking the bell so that you don't miss the next stream or video. And, of course, make sure to share the channel with your friends if you think they might enjoy the content too. With that all being said, thank you once again for watching. I am JGod01, your guide, bard, and humble host into the worlds of virtual and fantastical, and I will see you all next time, right here on Guardian Studios. Bye!